Tonight, the legal team for Joachim Henry and his wife decry a politically motivated investigation. SLP political leader Philip J. Pierre says the party will continue to stand strong behind the Henrys. And the Vulnerable Persons team confirms an investigation into 2 disturbing incidents caught on camera. The details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Wednesday, the 9th of June, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. 2 attorneys representing Joachim Henry and his wife are giving the details surrounding the legal action taken against the former St. Lucia Labour Party senator. Attorney Lon Theophilus indicates that the entire ordeal is politically motivated. However, the legal team say they will stop at nothing to ensure a successful outcome for their client. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
The legal team representing the St. Lucia Labour Party's Castries Southeast candidate Joachim Henry and his wife Claudia Henry, as they face charges for disturbing a church service at the Forester Seventh-day Adventist Church on April 24th, have vowed to defend their clients to the best of their abilities on the matter. Attorneys Lon Theophilus and Leslie Mondesi, who were joined by the Henrys, sat with members of the local media on Wednesday morning to clear the air on the pair's legal predicament, where it is alleged that charges were laid following the church incident. Mondesi firstly gave the details of what transpired on Wednesday morning when the pair was summoned by police.
About 10 a.m. this morning, Mr. and Mrs. Henry were required to attend at the Major Crime Unit to hold a meeting with an investigating officer regarding a report that was made to the unit. However, about 9:30 a.m., myself and Mr. Theophilus, we received a call asking us to attend at the Major Crime Unit in advance of this 10 a.m. meeting. We attended and we had discussions with the police. So as a result of our discussions with them, what was originally planned for this morning did not proceed. And also, Mr. and Mrs. Henry were not required to make any appearance at the Major Crime Unit. We've been informed that this matter will be handled differently. However, Mr. Theophilus and myself, we remain committed at any time to defend our clients in the future should the need arise in relation to this particular matter.
Mondesi went on to refute claims that the couple was charged.
Just to be absolutely clear, Mr. Henry nor his wife has ever been, were never arrested, and
No.
they are not facing any criminal charges.
As of now, no. The answer, not being charged? No, nothing like that at this particular point in time.
Meanwhile, Theophilus said, whilst it is clear to see that this matter is driven by politics, this will not derail Henry from his political goals.
I think we are living in very interesting times because we've seen of recent vintage matters which are politically sensitive finding themselves before the criminal courts. I find it rather unique. We saw it happen with Christopher Hunt. We've seen it happen with Ernest Hilaire. It almost happened with the Henrys and this young lady Roma, in Miku. So it should give St. Lucians an opportunity to take a snapshot of the state of affairs, which is rather unprecedented in our country, in my opinion. We would hope that matters of a political nature would be dealt with in another forum, which we are more accustomed to traditionally, and that some matters are not being dealt with through the organs of the state. There's a difference between a question of conviction and the stage we are at now, which is what I prefer to address, is that anybody who's accused of any offense within our jurisdiction is presumed to be innocent at all times. So whilst he enjoys the presumption of innocence, he can continue to contest as a candidate for the general elections. So it would not be fettered by what is happening before the court at all.
Theophilus said with the obvious disparities between who gets persecuted for the same actions depending on their political alliances have proven that there are 2 St. Lucias. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The leader of the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party, Philip J. Pierre, backed by a number of other members of the SLP, have all vowed to stand strong behind Joachim Henry and his wife. Pierre says the legal action taken against the Henrys is a clear ploy. However, he urges St. Lucians to look past the smokescreen.
The St. Lucia Labour Party gathered in full force to show solidarity to their Castries South East candidate Joachim Henry, who is allegedly facing charges for the confrontation of Castries South East MP Guy Joseph at the Forester Seventh-day Adventist Church in April. SLP leader Philip J. Pierre, joined by a number of the party's candidates and Henry himself, stood before the media on Wednesday morning, declaring that the party is and will continue to stand firmly behind their colleague and his wife. Pierre lamented the fact that the Henrys are still being subjected to such scrutiny. Over 1 month after the incident occurred, apologies were issued and the pair were forgiven. Pierre said the efforts to sully Henry's name will not work.
It is unfortunate today, more than 6 weeks since the incident, and on the eve of a general election, that Joachim and Claudia would still be dealing with that matter. Like many of you, I've acknowledged that this is a politically motivated effort, an attempt to derail Joachim's campaign in Castries South East and to sabotage the reputation of a man who is known to many as a peaceful, loving, family-oriented, and upstanding citizen of St. Lucia. Joachim Henry and his family are God-fearing people with whom I have the utmost respect and admiration for. This is why we must not be consumed by the United Workers' Party and their ploy to deceive and detract the people of St. Lucia from the real issues in the country, the promises unfulfilled.
Pierre said the incident is an act of desperation by the United Workers' Party. However, he urged locals to refrain from taking the bait.
The United Workers' Party is desperate and will try anything to win the general election. However, as political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party and leader of the opposition, it is my responsibility and my duty to ask you, the people of St. Lucia, to remain peaceful and patient. I repeat, I ask you to remain peaceful and not to be provoked. We all stand in support of Joachim and his family during this extended time of grief, trial, and tribulation. And to do so, we must continue to protest without any form of unrest.
The opposition leader sent this message to the Castries South East constituents and the rest of St. Lucia.
To the people of Castries South East, I say to you, the St. Lucia Labour Party remains committed to the campaign of Joachim Henry, and we ask you for your continued support for the Henry family at this time. My fellow St. Lucians, the Word of God reminds us not to be troubled during these times of trials and tribulations. I say to you, St. Lucia, this too shall pass. This too shall pass.
To date, no charges have been laid against the Henrys. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Vulnerable Persons Team says an investigation has been launched into the incident of a mother violently beating a child on a sidewalk. The sergeant responsible for the unit says based on the outcome of the investigation, the fate of the parties involved will be determined.
The video of a mother pummeling a young child in school uniform has gone viral on social media and garnered much attention from many sections of society. The unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force that is tasked with dealing with such situations, the Vulnerable Persons Team, says no official report has been made with reference to this situation. However, the sergeant responsible for the Vulnerable Persons Team, Yolanda Stanislas Leon, explains that the unit is in receipt of the video and it will be investigated in conjunction with the Department of Human Services. Leon explained that the parent and the child will be brought in and they both will receive counseling services.
We have seen the video. The matter has not been reported to the Vulnerable Persons Team. In cases of such, you would find that the Division of Human Services would come in, send us a referral, and we carry out an investigation. However, with the circulation, we are aware of the matter, and it is currently under investigation. After the matter has been assigned to an investigator, we will know which way forward to go. There is a possibility that we might have to prosecute, but we will have the mother to come in. We will have a sit down with the mom and see the way forward. We will also refer the mother and the child to the Division of Human Services for some form of counseling.
Leon explained that there is a definite distinction between discipline and abuse and has urged parents to find better ways of disciplining their children.
I do not know what transpired in the video where the mother was beating the child. I am not aware of the nitty-gritty of the whole issue. But I would employ person not to take matters into their own hands. It is easier said than done. Persons will say, well, I have my own issues and that's my child and I can do whatever I want. But remember, if you committed an offense, you will be arrested for committing an offense. And with the circulation of the videos, that's more evidence for the police to use. If the child is giving problems, if the child is not listening to the parent, seek advice, seek help. But to beat a child in that way in the public view, I don't think is the best.
There have been many instances of parents abusing children. Another recent situation that drew the ire of the public was the incident of the mother dangling a baby off a balcony. Stanislas Leon explained that any member of the public can lodge a complaint to the VPT if they are aware of a child being abused. She says given the impact of the pandemic, it is understandable that many may be frustrated, but that, she says, is no excuse for the behaviors being witnessed.
If persons do encounter difficulty, I mean you stress, you are not unable to fend for your family, you have a child that is defiant, not obeying the parents, beating the child is not the best thing to do. You have the school is open now, you have school counselors. As a parent, you can go to the school, have a chat with the school counselor. We even invite persons to come here and we send a referral to the Division of Human Services, maybe Planned Parenthood or the family court, to assist the parents in whichever way.
She says while the actions being seen in the video are not to be condoned, judgment should not be passed as the entire situation is not known. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Still to come, police address another obscene video, this time involving a woman who is reportedly mentally challenged. Party supporters in a near clash. Will there be legal ramifications? And are CCC holding cells compromised? Police addressed the matter after a man recently made a getaway. That and more after the break.